oh my gosh, it's happening. This is really happening now. It's like I'm compelled to do this. I don't even know what's come over me. How can you look at hope and think we're far right? I just don't.
Yeah.
You know, you look at all of our social media, you look at the website, you look at our ethos, our values.
But it's just a ruse, Katy-Jo. It's just,
Whereas I never, ever was afraid, ever.
Katy-Jo.
Yes.
Welcome to my garden. The secret garden.
Beautiful. I've never been here before.
Yeah, no, you haven't, have you?
No, but to this area I've never been.
And you had a bit of synchronicity on the way as well.
I did. It's
which is why you were late.
It's there's a few reasons. Because I got lost. I always get lost. It's fine. I'm used to it. I just go, everything, I arrive when I'm meant to arrive. And actually, if I hadn't got lost and you know, taken the journey I took, I would never have bumped into Katie Ann. And that's just the universe telling me that I'm on the right path.
Yeah. Do you believe in fate?
I believe that we have to just surrender sometimes to the universe basically just guiding you and supporting you. And synchronicities will happen along the way.
Yeah.
And as they happen, it kind of it's more sort of confirmation that you're on the right path.
So I was going to say, have you found that with Hope, the whole Hope project, have you found that synchronicities have helped you along on that path? But before you answer that, really, for those we should talk a little bit about Hope, because I guess it's what you're known for, and it is a big passion of yours. So tell everyone a little bit about Hope.
It's a huge
and then we'll get back into the
passion
synchronicities.
Of mine. I suppose it is my life to a certain extent, because it means so much to me and to my family. You know, we're all involved in Hope, but especially Tommy. You know, if I didn't have Hope, I don't know what Tommy's life would be like.
Right.
It would be very, very different.
So for those who don't know that much about Hope, there might be one or two people out there who don't. So give a little...
I know, I'm just presuming everybody knows about
Well,
Hope.
because it's so much a part of our lives, isn't it?
Mm.
And
yeah, it is weird, isn't it, when you have something like that you know, it's just like the norm.
Yeah.
And then people don't know about it and you're like, what?
Yeah, so there'll definitely be people watching who either won't know what Hope is or won't know much about Hope. So give people a little overview of how it started, what it is.
Yeah, so I suppose we need to go right back to 2019, really, and the announcement of the lockdowns. And, you know, previously to that, you know, even the talk of a lockdown happening was just something that sent me, my mum, my sister, my auntie, all of us that were aware of the agenda, shall we say, just spiralling into, oh my gosh, it's happening. This is really happening now in our lifetime, which was just a really weird thing, because I'd heard David Icke speaking about it for years and years and years, and obviously had been down many rabbit holes myself already, down, you know, the big pharma rabbit hole, vaccination rabbit hole, 9/11 rabbit hole, the chemotherapy rabbit hole, just so many things that I'd been researching and knew about already. So we just all immediately said, right, okay, we've got to do something. It was just like, I had to, you know, I felt like I had to be proactive. I couldn't just sit back and just watch things happening. So my mum and myself and a couple of friends decided that we would start a cooperative. Before that, actually, I'd started a Facebook page with a friend called Hastings Stop and Think, where we were just, you know, encouraging people to question things and, you know.
It's a nice name, actually.
Hastings Stop and Think.
Stop and Think, because it's quite gentle, isn't it? It's quite feminine. Like, you know, if that was a bloke setting up a Facebook page, it'd be like, you know, Armageddon approaches. Call to arms. Or
Call
something
to
like that, you know.
arms. The shit's hit the
The
fan.
shit hits the fan. Yeah, the shit's hit the fan. Yeah. So that's nice.
But we had a really nasty character join the page and start, antagonising people, and it just all got horrible, as social media does. So I decided to put messages out and said, if you're really serious about, making a change and doing something, and building community, then meet me on the beach. So I started meeting people illegally. On the beach and at the back of downstairs of a cafe in the centre of Hastings. That's where I met amazing people like Chris Coverdale, who I absolutely adore. And
I've not met him, but he always comes across.
You should definitely paint Chris
Yes,
Coverdale.
you know what? I hadn't even thought of Chris, but that would be brilliant.
Yeah,
he's lovely. Yeah.
So. Yeah, and then the meetings just grew and grew and grew, and throughout that time, it was very exciting, shall I say, to meet whilst having to hide your cars and pull the blinds down, and it was just such a crazy time. Yeah. It was really, really bonkers, with that, and then all of the protests and the marches. But getting back to Hope, I met Matt and Sadie and their 4 gorgeous children on the beach.
Yeah.
And our friendship just grew from there. We started to educate the children together, go for lovely walks in the woods. We had a friend's apple farm, Martin's apple farm, that we used to go to and do forest school with the children there. We had the police called on us.
Okay.
And we had to play hide and seek with the children.
Yeah.
Mad times for being outside. Yeah. So
and some children really suffered with that, but some really thrived, didn't they?
Yes.
So I think some children really relished that excitement, but I know that a lot of children didn't. They didn't like it.
I think it depends on what sort of environment they're in. So if your parents are panicking and being very, afraid and fearful, then they're going to pick up on that. Whereas I never, ever was afraid, ever.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really, I don't know. I'm not trying to sound big-headed or anything, but I never had a fear.
Yeah.
At that time, I never do have any fear of them and what they want to try and force us into.
Yeah.
It's just not something that's ever crossed my mind.
Yeah.
So we started educating at Sadie's house, at other parents' houses, smuggling the children in, and it was fairly exciting, really. Then the co-op fell apart. Really, it's one of those things that with a cooperative, everybody gets a say, and I know that sounds like true democracy, and I suppose it is.
What is democracy?
But
that's a big question, isn't it?
That's a big question. If you have a room full of 100 people and you're talking about one topic, let's say, should we allow vaccinated people into the co-op or should we not allow vaccinated people into the co-op, for example? Every single person has to have their say. And naturally, even though the point has been made by someone else, everyone will want their moment to speak. And so meetings would go on and on for hours and hours and hours with the same people going away and doing all the work.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of hot air.
And a lot of hot air and a lot of going round and round in circles and never really achieving anything. So for me, when the co-op was shut down, I didn't want to go back to that model. I knew it wasn't really going to help.
Yeah.
So we went for the CIC model instead, which is a community interest company.
Oh, okay.
So myself and Sadie, we are the directors, but we have a core team, as you know, that really are at the centre of making decisions. And we always ask, if they're big decisions, we always ask for, people's opinions. But ultimately, the buck lies with me and Sadie.
Yeah.
And it has to be like that for us to get anything done, for us to achieve anything.
Yeah.
I
think that's the case with, with a lot of freedom people, they have this sort of utopian idea that, if we're all aligned, we can all come together and create these communities. But actually, I think, like any good business, it's usually 1 or 2 people's idea, and they have the the vision, and then they find people who want to support that vision, and then it just becomes a solid thing. Whereas if you have, just like you're saying, if you have so many different voices all saying, well, it should be like this, should be like, and nothing ever gets done. No
Nothing
business ever
ever
succeeded
gets
like
done.
that.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying business is the be all and end all, but it's the mark of, you know, if you're profit driven and you know you want to succeed at something, that's the model that it's usually one at the most two, really, isn't it? Like a partnership.
Yes.
As soon as you have
Matt's definitely there as well.
Yeah.
You know, I he's like a.
But then he's in a relationship with Sadie,
Exactly.
so there's a whole.
So they come as a pair.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a really weird thing. You mentioned profit there, but both of us are really bad at business. We're terrible at business, and it's not obviously what has driven us to create Hope.
Yeah.
And I think that has its advantages and disadvantages. Its advantages is that it's coming totally from heart.
Yeah.
There's never been, if we do this we can make loads of money. That's just never ever entered our minds.
I can vouch for that. I know how it works.
But I'm sure we've made plenty of silly mistakes along the way as well. You know, we're learning as we go along. Nobody's given nobody's given us a handbook and gone, this is how you build community.
No.
Especially in these times when community is pretty alien to people. You know, we're not used to that. We're not even used to really existing in big families anymore. So it's a whole new way of learning to live and cooperate with people and be understanding and compassionate, and especially in these trying times, everyone's going through it big time. Everyone's struggling at the moment. I think it's tough. So, but I never forget my husband when I was meeting people on the beach. He said to me, it's like you think Jesus,
right?
It's like no, it's not that at all. It's like I'm compelled to do this. I don't even know what's come over me. I'm literally just have to do it. And it was such a stressful time, actually, in our house. It was a really stressful time because that's all I could put my energy into was building community, making a change, doing something.
Yeah.
So
is that something
it took my focus massively.
Something that you still, because I know you're very driven, and for example, when we asked if you'd like to join the band, you know, it was a big consideration because you do so much. You know, you had to consider, did you have the time to do it? Well, luckily for us that you thought you had. but is that an ongoing concern, juggling? I know you've got a very supportive family.
I've got a star. My family's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I couldn't do. They deserve all the credit, really, because there's just no way I could achieve anything that I've achieved without them. So they do deserve all of the credit. But it was straight away. I was like, yes, I want to be in Victorious. Absolutely love Victorious, and it's been so lovely already that we've, I've sung, guest songs with you. So it felt like, something that would be a natural sort of progression.
It did feel very natural,
yeah.
So going back to Hope, how did the vision form of actually a place for home education? Because we haven't actually said that to people. So what is Hope in its current form? What is it?
Hope is
Hope Sussex.
Hope Sussex community is literally that. So I would say the site operates as a community centre, and we have our home educators, home educating families that come and use the facility. We have classes there with independent tutors, amazing independent tutors, who are all really happy to be out of the education system. And so they're there taking classes and also just socialising the children. It's also about the adults being able to chat with like-minded people and again feel like you're putting into something, you're making a difference. You're leaving a legacy behind is how I feel.
Yeah.
And we have the best people there. We do. We really do. And and there are obviously people that come that weekly. We have a health clinic, PHA, which again is so important for people to be able to get low-cost treatments. So really, really grateful to all of those practitioners that are part of the PHA.
That'd be where you get your latest shot, is it? Is that right?
Yeah. Get your latest shot of Glode or silver.
Yeah.
Or what else is there? There's hydroxychloroquine, the natural stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So there's the PHA, and I'd just love to expand every single branch. Really, our allotment is another one. The food side of things is really important, but that's run by a real dedicated core group, and they work their butts off. They really do. And it's looking amazing down there. So we're looking like we're going to have a really fruitful harvest this year. So there's that, and there's the events side, which really, I absolutely adore the events side, but it is a constant juggle for myself and Sadie, because the running of the homemade side and then the running of the events side are both really, really demanding.
Yeah.
And we're constantly going, okay, we have to run the events to bring the money in. The homemade side is at the core, really.
Sure.
It's the reason we started Hope Sussex. So for us, it's big. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. But I can't think of doing anything else. There's no other option, really, if you like. And the rewards are massive. The rewards are huge when you see the children having a wonderful time at Hope, playing, being free. That's just,
Well, it's
makes my heart just swell. It's just the best thing. And that's what it's all about. And especially my Tommy, when I see him at Hope, having the best time and being accepted for who he is.
Yeah.
So for Tommy, if we didn't have Hope, his options would be mainstream. And Jake, can you imagine Tommy in mainstream school?
No, yeah.
He's 13. He's 14 this year.
Yeah.
That means he would be, nearly at the end of first year in secondary school.
Yeah.
That it would just kill him. I know it would. It would be. He would be bullied. He wouldn't cope with it. He just wouldn't be able to. So the other option is a special needs school, and he's not stupid. He's not.
I just think that would just wouldn't be right either.
That just wouldn't work for him either. I think he just needs to be accepted for who he is in a loving environment and to be able to learn at his own pace, which he can at Hope. Yeah. So it's the biggest blessing for us as a family. Yeah, really.
It's a very natural way of community, isn't it? Hope. It's very relaxed in some ways, although there are structured, the tutors come in. Yeah. But in a way, I can say for Mackie as well that it's all the stuff around it, really, which is just so nourishing for everyone, adults and children. Yeah. In a way that, we put off coming for a long time. Rachel was, you must come to Hope, and it's like, it's too far away.
Yeah, it is far, I know.
But, the rewards have just been incredible, and on so many different levels. It does feel that, when you set something up, it just has its own momentum, and people just come who are right. And I can imagine Netherfield becoming this hub of
the locals. They're
I know there's challenges with the locals. I've heard some things, and people getting the wrong end of the stick and listening to the media too much, and
we've all experienced that, haven't we? I think we've got thick
unfortunately
skins
those
now.
People probably won't be listening to this and getting the true picture. That's the problem, isn't it? People get stuck in their perceptions.
You can't. I don't know how you can blame parents for wanting to protect their children from what's happening. At the end of the day, that's all we're doing as parents, is going, I want to be the best parent I can be. Yeah. And I know that something is deeply wrong with society and the way society is going. I know something's deeply wrong with the education system. I don't want my child to be subjected to any of that. I want to protect them. That's surely a natural instinct for a parent.
Yeah.
So,
but most people wouldn't see no, sorry, not most people. Those who have been indoctrinated into by the press, and you've had some hit pieces done about hope and all that kind of stuff.
have.
The people who fall for that, they're not seeing it from that perspective, are they? They're seeing a bunch of far right.
How can you look at hope and think we're far right? I just don't.
Yeah.
You know, you look at all of our social media, you look at the website, you look at our ethos, our values. It's
just a ruse, Katy-Jo. It's just a ruse.
I love your slogan.
What's that?
So far right so far.
Oh yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, t-shirts available on the website.
Get yours now.
Right so far, yeah.
So it's just like being called a conspiracy theorist. It's like being called a homophobic, transphobic person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another, name. They're just trying to put us in that box, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the only badge I will wear is the anti-vaxxer badge.
I'm the same actually.
I will bet. I'm really not ashamed to speak out and say I'm an anti-vaxxer.
No, I'm not either. I wouldn't necessarily describe myself as anti anything. It's, it just has connotations of negativity, but essentially.
See, I don't feel that, because I've researched vaccines so deeply, with every child. I mean, obviously, my background is that my mum's brother, 3 years old, developed a leukemia after the measles vaccine and died.
Okay. Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it goes right back in my family, the questioning of vaccinations.
Yeah.
And I've always grown up seeing a homeopath, and my homeopath, when I fell pregnant with Molly, she said to me, "You really need to research vaccines."
Yeah.
She didn't say to me, "Don't vaccinate."
No.
Research vaccines. So she gave me loads of books. And I'm sorry, but if you do your research, there's just no way you'd let them, vaccinate your child.
No.
So I did that with every single one. I did that with Poppy, and I did that with Tommy. I just went back to the same books, and the Informed Parent is a fantastic website. I don't know if they do any talks anymore, but I went to a couple of their talks.
Oh, is that what's the name? Is that English? Is that an English organisation? Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
Informed
think
Parent.
I think there was one who was promoted a lot in the Arnica groups who used to.
Oh, probably.
It's pretty clear cut, really. When I say anti, it's just the word anti, but absolutely 100%. Vaccines are. Yeah, I'm happy to be an anti-vaxxer. I'm happy to be an anti-vaxxer.
They're not safe.
Yeah.
They're ineffective. They're not effective.
Yeah.
And it's, again, all about profit for Big Pharma and keeping us ill.
Yeah.
So I'll wear that badge with pride. With Molly, she got whooping cough.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't very nice, but she's so, it did her the world of good, really, in the end, because she never gets coughs.
Yeah,
it's like an immunity.
Yeah, there is a theory that with every infection, let's just call it an infection, the body goes through a kind of a real growth spurt intellectually, and that the challenge of the infection pushes a child to develop, and children have developmental.
I agree with that.
Thing. And if you suppress the infection, then maybe they don't get that chance to.
I would say that's definitely true. I've witnessed that as well with my children. Right. After they've maybe had a fever. Yeah. They have like a growth spurt.
Okay.
So I would say I've actually witnessed that.
Right, okay.
So that is definitely true. But it was the doctor, oh my gosh, because she didn't have any antibiotics or anything. I used homeopathy to help her and just let it run its course. But the doctor, I bet you wish you'd had her vaccinated now.
Nope.
I was like, no, actually, no. But they, went to, obviously, spent a lot of time in hospital, and that's a challenge when you have a child like Tommy who's born and straight into special care and has, you're in that allopathic environment, and then you're trying to treat them as holistically as possible. Yeah. I never forget the pharmacist going crazy at me because I'd given him some arnica, and he went, "You're going to give him a heart attack."
Oh, really?
I was like, no, I don't think I will. I think he'll be absolutely fine. Thanks. I've been
What was
using
his reasoning with
Oh,
that?
he just didn't want me to use anything apart from pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
He didn't really give a reason.
No.
He just said that it was dangerous,
Yeah.
which is quite amusing, really. When you think of the side effects from pharmaceuticals,
Yeah.
it's just. But that's okay. That's all right because they've got the side effects documented, and they can say that these
Yeah.
are, So it's all right if you get ill from pharmaceutical drugs. Yeah, it's bonkers. It's such a bonkers world we live in. It really is, isn't it? The inversion everywhere. It drives you mad. Your head just starts going.
Yeah.
I can't cope with this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm in a clown world, as Trevor John says.
Yeah.
That song's perfect. It is a clown world.
How was that when Tommy was born? Then did you feeling then that you had to be drawn into this system that you were very wary of?
I believe, yeah,
how did you cope
I
with
can
that?
see, I look back at my life now and I look at big challenges and I think they've prepared me for what I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah.
They've been a preparation.
Yeah.
100%. So that was obviously probably, I would say the biggest challenge of my whole life was trying to, I mean, if it wasn't for me and my mum, my husband, I don't think Tommy would be here.
Right.
I really don't think he'd be here.
Right.
So when I felt pregnant with Tommy, he was a surprise.
Okay.
And when I found out, I instantly knew something wasn't right. It was really bizarre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I knew
Right.
in my gut. I was like,
Right.
this isn't right. I don't feel the same
Right.
way. And it
Okay.
wasn't that it was a surprise because I love children.
Yeah.
I'd just keep having kids. If I could, I'd just knock them out. I'd have loads of kids. But there was something, and so then, and with the girls, I didn't have any scans.
Okay.
I didn't have any scans at all with the girls.
Okay.
But with Tommy, something in my gut said I needed to have one.
Okay.
And so that's when we found out he had pulmonary stenosis on his heart. And then the second scan, they realised I had polyhydramnios, which is this medical condition where we know now he wasn't swallowing the amniotic fluid. So I was getting bigger. I literally looked like I had about 10 babies and I was so tiny as well. I was like Mr. Greedy.
Right.
From the back, I didn't look pregnant for a turn round.
Right. Okay.
Huge. I was massive. Okay. And I was really poorly towards the end. But yeah, no, and when he was born, he went straight to special care.
Yeah.
Couldn't feed, he wouldn't feed. So he had to have a NG tube, which is the nasal gastric tube. And then after 10 days, they said, okay, we've got to transfer him to Brighton. And that was just kind of like the journey. We were Brighton to Evelina to Great Ormond Street to so many different hospitals. Found out that he had DiGeorge syndrome, which is actually the second most common syndrome after Downs.
So again, what's it called?
DiGeorge. DiGeorge, yeah. And I'd never heard of it.
No, I've not heard of it.
And some people don't know they've got it. It can be very, very mild.
Okay. Depends
on the deletion. So Down syndrome is a duplication and DiGeorge syndrome is a deletion on the chromosome 22.
Uh-huh.
So it was just a journey then of finding out. So he had to have, his biggest operation at 3 months old was his funduplication. Where
What's this? What?
It's called a funduplication. So the top of his stomach, he had low muscle tone all the way down his centre of his body, and so the top of his stomach hadn't formed properly, so it was wide open.
Oh, okay.
So for a while before the operation, he had to have a tube into his stomach that would take the contents out, so that he didn't aspirate, and then he had a tube into his jejunum, which would feed him. So, and all this time I was trying to express because I wanted him to have breast milk. And I did that. I literally, probably for the first 3-4 months, I think I was every 2 hours, day and night, expressing wherever we were, just trying to feed him. And then he had the surgery, which was a huge success, fantastic surgeon. at Brighton. But this whole time we're constantly suctioning him. So like a suction machine that you get at the dentist. That's what you would constantly have to suction him.
Okay.
And they
when you
didn't.
say constantly, do you mean like literally?
Yeah.
Oh,
Constantly.
Okay.
Otherwise he'd choke.
Did someone need to be?
He couldn't swallow.
With him, like all the time.
Yeah. He had the worst case of dysphagia they've seen in at the Evelina. So he was suctioned constantly, but even so, it was so. And I look back now, and the speech and language therapist was still trying to get him to feed. And I look back now and I cannot believe you didn't see that he couldn't swallow. It's just really weird.
Okay.
So he has the fundoplication. He had one of his hernia operations. We get home. And I've got this baby that I'm trying to feed all these different formulas. Actually, before we even got him home, he had necrotizing enterocolitis. Don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
That's where some of the bowel dies.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's because they wanted him to have this really, really high-fat milk because he wasn't putting weight on. And I said I was really worried about him getting that. And they said, no, he'll be fine. I'll eat my hat if he gets that. She went. And then 2 days on the milk and he's profusely bleeding. It was awful. So it was just like there were plenty of times where I just wanted to run away.
Yeah,
actually.
I bet.
But when I got him home, this was I think was the biggest turning point for Tommy, was when he would choke constantly. So therefore, whatever we put into his stomach, he would vomit. So he's not putting any weight on. So And the formulas were awful. I knew that, but I couldn't express anymore. I had nothing left.
Yeah.
So I made it my mission to make my own formula milk.
Oh, okay.
And I tried everything. Hemp milk and cow's literally every kind of milk. And I studied the composition of formula milk, and I added molasses and olive oil and ghee and just coconut oil and everything I could, but he was still being fed through his nose. So there's a really tiny, tiny tube. So it had to be really thin still. He would still constantly vomit all the time. So I researched raw goats.
Okay.
And that saved his life.
Oh, right.
Because I can't, I don't see how we would have got any, past that constant vomiting.
Right.
If it hadn't been for the raw goats. Because it turns to curds and whey pretty much as soon as it hits the stomach. So it became a solid. And that gradually helped him to start to gain weight.
Wow.
So, but oh my gosh, I'll never forget going for an appointment with the dietitian and the surgeon who'd done his surgery. And I told them this and how brilliant it was going.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you'd have thought they were going to take him off of me. Phone social services. I suddenly just went, right, never, ever coming back here again, ever.
So was that part of your awakening process? Seeing firsthand some of the difficulties within, or within the system?
I thank God that didn't happen during COVID. We were lucky enough that it was a time where we could all be in the room with Tommy.
Yeah.
And I could sleep next to him every night. And if it was hard. We had 2 other children, so I would, every now and again go home and see them. And my husband would swap, or my mum would stay with Tommy. And Tom's mum was amazing, and obviously the granddads as well have been such a support in supporting us and the girls. But I just, oh my gosh, if I think about what that would have been like during COVID and the restrictions of having people in there and the testing and the mask wearing, I just, it was tough enough as it was.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to anybody who was in the the hospitals, in the system at that time. It must have been horrendous. Yeah. They, I can't knock most of the nurses and doctors, but you had to be there. You had to be there for handover. You had to be there because things would get missed. There were times where he was going to be given the wrong medicine, and you'd be like, no, that's not the drugs he's on. He's on this, or you know, or I remember one night going to see him. This was when he was in the special care unit, so he was really, really young, probably 2 months old, and I just popped to see him. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and there was a doctor doing a scan on his heart, and I was like, this wasn't scheduled in. What are you doing? Oh yeah, just checking. And I was thinking, you know, there's so much intervention for these for when you're in hospital, you know, and these little children, they have to have, you know, moments where they're left alone.
Yeah, sure.
And it turned out he was just a student, just using Tommy.
Oh shit.
You know, and so
Oh god.
if you're not there, things will happen.
Yeah.
For sure. You've got to be there and on your guard, which is a shame. And I do believe, hearing now, that things have deteriorated quite a lot in hospitals.
All the children at Hope benefit from that. It's a very loving atmosphere, you know, and someone like Tommy, like you said, if they were at mainstream school, they'd, you know, maybe be bullied or, you know, left out, ostracised.
It's
or whatever.
a guarantee. He was in when he first went up to special care. When he was born, 3 days later, a little baby came in called Tilly, and adorable little thing. Then we lost contact, and Tommy did go to mainstream school for a bit.
Okay.
And they ended up being in the same year
together. Yeah.
And her story is different. She did go to mainstream school, and
didn't work out.
It's not been good.
Yeah.
Not been good at all. And I know it would have been the same for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's different.
Yeah.
Not wrong different, just different.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't fit in, and that's the pressure that all children have, isn't it, at school, to fit in. And that's what I saw with Molly, my eldest. So she went through primary school. I didn't even think about home educating. Didn't even cross my mind. Lovely village school, Guestling, really lovely, small. And she was very happy. Went to secondary school, and I just started to see that, she was just becoming quieter and not herself, very quiet, unhappy. And I just thought, okay, all the girls in school have got phones. You haven't got a phone. They're all doing TikTok. They're all doing selfies. They're all concerned about what they look like. And although Molly loves her makeup now, and she's, you know, she's found herself now. But then she just wanted to climb trees, and she wanted to be in the fields, you know, rescuing sheep out of the canal and being a child still. She wasn't ready for that, and my gut instinct was get her out.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about home ed, didn't know anyone who home educated. I just went with my gut, and that was the right thing to do, for sure. So with Poppy, it was a natural thing. I just said, okay, you're not going to secondary school. That's not happening. I'm not going anywhere near it. And I was going to do the same for Tommy, but then lockdown happened, and as soon as it happened, I took him straight out. I just thought, you are not being told you can't cuddle. He's such a cuddly kid. I mean, he'll go up and cuddle anybody, won't he? And, well, tickle anybody.
Yeah.
So, you know, the thought of him being told that he's you know, he's got germs and he can't do that, and he's going to make people ill, and all of that nonsense. And I think it would have had such a detrimental effect on his mental health. The constant hand washing they were told to do, and I just know it would have affected him.
Sure there's
negatively,
hundreds
massively.
of thousands of children who are traumatised by that whole episode that don't even realise it. It's sort of a hidden disaster, really, in a way. I think probably kids' social development and confidence and OCD.
It did. Self-harming went through the roof. Suicide went through the roof. The age of suicide dropped, I think, down to something like 10. Or, I mean, you know, it's pure evil. What they're doing and what they did. It really, really is. There's no other word for it.
It's interesting when we chatted with Andrew Bridgen a couple of weeks ago. there was one moment he just paused because he was talking about Leicestershire and his constituency, and he was just talking about the suicide rate, you know, and I could tell it really affected him. You know, I think these things, the people just are still in denial about what they went through, you know, collectively what we went through.
Yeah. I think we're still all trying to process it, aren't we?
Yeah.
But that's the weird thing, isn't it? About when you look back on life, it's just the weirdest thing because it feels like it was yesterday, and yet it feels like it happened in another world, in a dream. Yeah, it's just bizarre, isn't it? This whole existence is bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, it is. What else can you say? It's crazy. Yeah, trying to work out what it's all about. I sometimes think there's just no point even trying. Just be in the moment, really.
Yeah, and do you find that in a way with the rabbit holes that you can go down? And
I don't go down many
it
anymore.
almost feels like
I did it to death.
That's right. Yeah, there's a point where you just say, I don't need to know anymore. Really.
Yeah. I mean, there's still obviously times where you'll hear something and it'll affect you deeply. You know, there's still times where I'll hear something and I'll really cry. You know, or I'll think about things and it'll really get to me. But generally, overall, I feel like I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more important that I keep my vibration as high as possible and I put my time and energy into something positive and something that's meaningful and that's going to be for the better.
But that's not an avoidance thing.
No.
I mean, I know that's not an avoidance thing with you. It can be with some people.
Yeah.
You know, but I think there's that. It's like a healthy trajectory where you're open to what's going on.
Yeah.
You explore what's going on. You see there's an agenda. You see that there's deception, and then you just you go, okay, I don't need to spend X amount of hours a day indulging in, you know, the details of this thing. I need to get on with my life.
Where's the benefit? For me, where's the benefit in that? You know, you're going to end up bringing yourself down.
Yeah.
You know, and I really truly believe that vibration is the key to everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I think most people that are awake are on that page. You know, we're all vibration, and we know that the lower vibrations feed the machine, the elite, the dark side. It feeds them. So, you know, as much as we can, we need to be love and above. Yeah. That's not always easy, but you know, but I think authenticity is important as well. Yeah. Authenticity is the most important, but and also, you know, it's not saying we can't have those emotions, but it's not allowing them to govern us and allowing them to, you know, remain. So it's acknowledging them and being able to move on. Yeah. Trying not to get drawn in. Yeah. To things as much. I like the observe, not absorb thing.
Observe, not absorb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We had this chat with Sandy, and she was almost questioning, saying, well, should I just leave it all behind and go off and do painting or something, you know? But I think we do need, we do need people to be trailblazers, you know, and if they have skills and they have the armor to face this and investigate it and be a spokesperson, those kind of people I find amazing. We've all needed them at perhaps more towards the start of our journey. Yeah. And so, you know, I said to Sandy, no, you what people like you do is it's something that a lot of people can't do, because it's just you must be really grounded, basically, to be able to face that crap and talk about it and go into it. I just don't think I could be like, oh no, I can't really.
Yeah, they are incredible.
You know, so it's not.
But that's where we all have a part to play,
a different
isn't
role,
it, as well? And that's and that should, you know, that's community as well, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
we've all got a skill, we've all got something to bring to the table, and everyone's just as important as everybody else. Yeah, transcending the ego. I know we need ego to a certain extent, but it's important not to allow it to rule over you, and to really, we've got to keep a lid on it, I think, for us to be able to move forwards. You know, it's still, people are still falling out, and it's 9 times out of 10 the ego, really.
Yeah, I agree.
That's getting in the way.
I agree. It's not discussing things that's the problem. It's being attached to ideas that's the problem. So, you know, I talk about stuff and I annoy people because I have my opinions on certain things. But
what could that be?
I'm not going to say, because I've been told not to keep banging on about it. But what I like is learning to discuss without being attached. So let's talk about this stuff that we might disagree on, and let's do it with love in our hearts. You know, that's just, it's not a big deal, but can we learn to just not
healthy debate
and just and not even, you know, it doesn't even have to be a debate, just a discussion. You know, this, like I say, I've stopped looking at stuff in detail, really, largely, but I'm more interested in how we progress psychologically as a group of people who are looking for truth. You know, because ultimately, I think the external is really just a reflection of the internal. So unless we're dealing with our crap,
we're
just.
But don't you feel like that's
at
the moment? Everybody's crap's being bought out of them.
Yeah, I do.
It does feel
like
energetically like you can't hide anything at the moment. You know, and people are, you know, on the edge at the moment, because if you've got any trauma that you've not dealt with, it's coming to the surface, which I believe we've that's for a reason.
Yeah, we've
so
created
that we can move on and move up. It's baggage. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Make yourself lighter.
Yeah.
You know, it was a massive learning curve for me, was trying to unlearn that time isn't linear.
Yeah, the sun could still be a portal, but we could still be on a globe.
The gay pride movement, which was just about equality and just about allowing people to be who they want to be. Now we've got these horrendous marches, which children should not be subjected to.
No.
And I was whizzing, almost like through space, I suppose, because it was pitch black and there was like a bit like Star Warsy.
Yeah.
But I know it wasn't a dream because I felt it.